Hello, everyone. Yes.
I was saying hi.
Oh, hi. The topic for today is hockey versus soccer in terms of the spectator sport. So as we know, well, hockey and soccer are very similar in many ways. They're both, as soccer is played on a field of grass, hockey is played on ice. Soccer uses a ball and your own 2 feet, whereas for hockey, you use a puck and a stick. Both destinations is the net. Either way, you have to get it into the goal. Now, there's no question that in both sports, the fans are very intense and very dedicated. But may it be resolved for these purposes that soccer, in fact, is a superior spectator sport than hockey. And here to support that is Chhavi.
If I told you that Canadians could soon be looking forward to soccer nights more than hockey nights, you probably wouldn't believe me. But it's not me who's saying this, but studies are. A recent survey by Statistics Canada says that 44% children between 5 to 14 actually play soccer, while only 26% of them play hockey. Nearly 300,000 more Canadians play organized soccer than hockey. The 2010 Major League Soccer opening game on ESPN was viewed by 600,000 English language viewers in North America. By no means am I saying that pro soccer teams in North America are more popular than hockey teams, but I'm talking about the soccer culture, the passion, the knowledge, and the interest that has tremendously grown, which translates to higher spectatorship. And there are several reasons for this. NHL is pretty much the only source of hockey for its fans. But for soccer, the fans have MLS, English Premier League, Spanish League, and other tournaments like Euro. Soccer also has a superior hold on television. It can be viewed on ESPN, Fox Soccer, besides NBC. The declining popularity of hockey amongst children is due to the high cost involved. Soccer being relatively new, entry and introduction to the sport is rather inexpensive. One cannot ignore the huge immigrant population in Canada. When these immigrant populations, especially from soccer-playing nations, are more loyal to their home team and rather watch their matches, increasing television spectatorship. Soccer is definitely catching up, and soccer nights are going to be the next big thing.
Here to argue an opposing view for hockey is David.
I'll be the first one to admit, soccer has more fans, it's more well known around the world. But does that make it a better spectator sport? Soccer is only played more by more people around the world because it's inexpensive. All you need is a ball, outdoors, go and have a good time. Hockey, you need your helmet, you need a stick, you need a puck, you need ice. Like, you gotta get a whole court, Zamboni, that's really, really expensive. So let's think from a spectator's point of view for 1 second. Soccer, you've got a huge field, goals are far away from each other. Now you're sitting here as a spectator and you're watching this game and the ball's in the middle of the field, going back from this side to this side, and it's all in the middle of the field and they're trading possession. After 20 minutes, you're at the bar, you're at the stadium, you kind of get distracted, you start talking to your friends. 30 minutes later, a goal gets scored, you're like, wait, what happened? Who scored? That's because no one's watching the game. The complete opposite is true for hockey. When the space between the goals is so much closer and everyone's on ice, everyone's moving so fast, you're not going to move your attention from the game because at any second, someone can shoot and will either produce a fantastic goal or a save. My second point is that soccer is extremely, extremely slow moving. Not only are people not on skates, there's a maximum of 3 substitutions a game, which means that after 30 minutes, these professional athletes are no longer professional athletes, are moving extremely slowly. Hockey, people get on the court, on the ice, for 45 seconds, they play their heart out, and then they get off the court and go and rest, their coach puts on another team. So it's extremely exhilarating to watch, because these athletes, you see the talent right in front of you. Lastly, I want to argue why hockey is a better spectator sport is, they thought of ways to try to get us more interested. Fighting has nothing to do with hockey, but yet the 2 players, plays dead, they'll drop their gloves, and they'll engage in a fight just to give us spectators something to laugh about. Thank you.
For both your arguments. I do have a question for Chhavi. Now, my question for you is, in terms of how much viewership is how many spectators actually view soccer here in Canada? Do you think that compared to hockey, that actually makes a difference?
Well, let me tell you an interesting stats. In 2010, MLS had an average of 16,500 spectators per game, whereas hockey had 17,000. The difference is fairly narrow per game. So soccer, with the fact that way more children today play soccer than hockey, you're actually looking at the children watching hot soccer, their families taking interest because the kids take interest, and so you're automatically looking at more, the spectatorship growing with time.
Thank you very much. Now, David, my question for you. Now, hockey, in fact, is a more expensive sport to play versus soccer. Don't you think that in that case, soccer actually has an advantage where it's accessible to everyone, not just a select few?
So I'll be the first one to admit, there are more people playing soccer, but in terms of being a spectator, I'm going to a game, I want to go to a hockey game. As I said before, extremely fast-paced moving game. That being said, for sure, it's 100% a luxury to play hockey. Everything's extremely expensive, and obviously the parents are coming to watch the games, they can't afford, the immigrants in Canada, which all of us are, cannot afford to get their kids into hockey, so end up playing soccer. So yes, there'll be more spectators watching soccer, but hockey's it's a better spectator sport.
Thank you very much. Now, yay! I'm actually going to leave it to you. So, all in favor of soccer being a better spectator sport?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, all in favor of hockey? So as we can all tell, hockey, in terms of audience, is a better spectator sport. Thank you all for your time.
Soccer night in town.